Hey guys, I'm Deepthi and in today's video I'm going to be swatching 50 pink lipsticks for you guys. You guys asked for this video and I am here to deliver that. Please excuse my lips, and if they look like they are on fire, it is because they are. I just swatched quite a lot of lipsticks and so it's all over the place and it's a little bit smudged, so I just kind of try to touch up a little bit, but you know, it's stained and all that, so please excuse that. In today's video I'll be swatching quite a lot of pink lipsticks, so from a really affordable price point to sort of high-end lipsticks, and not all of these necessarily have to be my favorite, so you have to watch through the video because I talk through it and let you guys know if I like something, if I don't like something, what's my problem with that particular formula and all that, so that you're well aware of that. So if you guys are wondering like how do I shop with a little bit of benefit for me as well, you guys have to check out GoPaisa app. So GoPaisa is online coupon and highest cashback giving app. So they have different brands associated with them, like some of your favorite brands like Amazon, Ajio, Myntra, Flipkart, and so many other websites. You can just search on the GoPaisa app for your favorite website and you will be directed to that particular website from GoPaisa and you can start shopping. So I will leave a link in the description box below, to which if you sign up you do get instant 25 rupees cash back, and this is like real cash, you guys. So I am someone who shops quite a lot online, be it for essentials, groceries, makeup or anything, and I always find that these apps are very useful for me because I get some amount of cash back and nobody would say no to any amount of cash, right? So most of the lipsticks that I have mentioned today you can find easily on Amazon or on Myntra, and you can just click on the link that I have in the description box below and you can just start shopping. So right now on Myntra you can see there is about 7% GoPaisa cashback. Once you click on the brand that you like to shop from, say if for clothes you want Ajio or Myntra or Amazon, you would be directed to that particular website. You can add all the products to your cart, you can place your order, and once you're done that, like you can see most of your cashback is tracked within 24 to 48 hours and they get confirmed in 45 to 60 days. You can check that under like my account option and you can see your earnings in that and what is pending, what is confirmed and all that. So you can transfer this cash into your bank account. You can enter your bank account details and everything, and then it will be transferred into your bank account, which is a really good amount, you know, especially when you're in need or when you want to buy something and you can save some money and get back some cash to buy something else that you would want to, which I find is amazing for me to like put back into my channel and try out more products. So you guys can do that as well, like buy your essentials, say your groceries or whatever you're buying, and then earn some cash back and use that for something else. So with that being said, if you guys want to know what are the amazing recommendations that I have for you guys, what are some affordable options as well, let's get started right now. The first one I'm going to be talking about is the Bella Voss Lip Crayon. First shade I'm going to be swatching is the shade number 02, which is called Thinking Out Loud. This is what the shade looks like. It's a beautiful blue tone red shade, sort of like a deeper red shade, and this is what it looks like. The formula is really nice. It is pretty pigmented and it does tug on your lips a little bit, but it is a really nice shade. The next shade I'm going to be swatching is the Bella Voss Lip Crayon in the number 03, Wake Me Up. The formula of this is slightly more rigid than the other lip crayon, but this is what the shade looks like. It's sort of like a bright pink shade. Next up I have two liquid lipsticks from Blue Heaven. The first one is in the shade number 09. These liquid lipsticks are pretty affordable as well and they retail for 105 rupees. The formula of this is pretty runny, but it is quite pigmented. Not super pigmented, but not bad either, and transfer proof, and as well as leaves like a very good stain on your lips and is quite long lasting as well. Next up is from Blue Heaven and this one is in the shade number 10. The previous shade was more of a brighter pink shade, but this one has slight red undertones to it, sort of like a melon shade, but very wearable and really nice. Next up we have something from Inside Cosmetics and this one is a non-transfer lip color. This one is in the shade number 07, Satin Rose. Again, a very affordable liquid lipstick. Ooh, so pigmented. This one retails for just 75 rupees. I really like the pigmentation of this, the shade and everything. I just don't really like the smell of this liquid lipstick, but I really like how the shade looks and it's pretty comfortable as well. Next one is from Blue Heaven. This is a special matte lip color and this one is in the number 09. Love the smell of this. It smells really delicious. The formula is very pigmented and applies very smoothly on the lips as well, and it stays on pretty pigmented and comfortable on the lips. This one is more subtle toned like a mauvey pink shade. Can be a nude shade for people of deeper skin tone. Next one is from LA Colors. This is their matte liquid lip color. This one is in the shade Pampered. Again, a very affordable liquid lipstick, very pigmented, can be slightly drying for some people. This one is a more purple toned pink shade, can be slightly more pale looking for a lot of people and could not be your cup of tea. This is not something that I would like on my skin tone as well. So just keep that in mind. Next up, I have something from Maybelline. This one is their creamy matte lipstick. This one is in the shade Flaming Fuchsia. Now this one is more of a brighter pink shade, but I like the formula of these Maybelline lipsticks and they are super affordable. But if you have a lot of pigmentation on your lips, this shade will not mask that up. Next up from Maybelline, I have the shade Mesmerizing Magenta. Now this shade can be a lot more wearable compared to the previous shade for a lot of people. Next up, I have the Swiss Beauty Non-Transfer Waterproof Lipstick. This one is in the shade Pink Blossom. Now if you're looking for a very affordable lipstick, this is something you should try out. It is so long wearing. The formula is amazing, comfortable on the lips, very pigmented as well. And I love this shade. It's more of a subtle pink shade. So the next Swiss Beauty lipstick I'm going to be swatching is in the shade Burgundy. Even though the shade is called Burgundy, it's actually a deep pink shade. Again, a very beautiful shade and would suit a lot of different skin tones, and I'm personally in love with these kind of shades. The next Swiss Beauty lipstick I'm going to be swatching is in the shade Loud Pink. I feel like the shade is very similar to MAC Relentlessly Red, although I've not swatched both of this side by side because it has that kind of like neon pigment to it. And it can be a little bit patchy on the lips, like it can exaggerate the pigmentation of your lips. Next up from Too Faced, I have the shade Bend and Snap, my all-time favorite pink shade. Very pigmented, very long wearing and suits any skin tone in my opinion. Next up, I have something from Colourpop, which is not easily available in India, but I will link a website where you can find it. This one is in the shade More Better. This is their Ultra Matte Liquid Lipstick. Can be a little bit drying, but it's very pigmented and very long wearing, and I love this particular shade. Such a beautiful pink shade with a lot of plum berry undertones to it and so unique. I don't really have any shade like this in my collection, and every time I wear this I get asked which shade this is. It's truly a beautiful shade. Next up, I'm going to be swatching some shades from Nykaa. The first one is the Nykaa Matte to Last Liquid Lipstick in the shade Kaveri. I got this one in the mini variant and this one retails for 250 rupees, which is pretty affordable. Again, a beautiful blue based red shade, but keep in mind that these mini liquid lipsticks are not as pigmented as the full size ones, but it's really nice for the price. Next, I have the Nykaa Wonder Puff Cushion Lipstick. This one is in the shade Born to Blossom. Now this is a shade that I would like to use as a blush more or so than a lipstick because it's a little bit watery, as you guys can see. Next up, I have the shade Dilly, which is more like a peachy pink shade, not so much of a pink but more peach undertones to it. This shade is not pigmented at all. It's very like runny and it cannot mask the pigmentation of your lips. I have the shade Begum, which is more like a purple toned pink shade. So this one is not my favorite formula. It has a lot of shimmer particles to it, like actual glitter on your lips. So I don't really like this, but I don't see a lot of people complain about this either. So it completely depends on your preference, how you like your lipsticks to be. But this one is not my favorite, but because it's like a swatch book of mine, I'm just including all the shades that I have. Next up, I'm going to be swatching the shade from Smashbox. This is their Always On Liquid Lipstick in the shade Throwback Jam. Now, this is not how the shade looks like actually. It's a little more pigmented, but because it's dried down in the tube, I'm not able to show you guys how it looks. It looks very similar to Sugar, Wine and Shine. I really love this shade and I'm planning to actually revive this by using some Inglot Duraline or something like that. I have something from MAC. This is their Retro Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Too Matte With Love. Now I know these shades are discontinued, so if you were looking for a really good dupe, check out my dupes video. I will link it right here. This is what it looks like. It's sort of like a brighter pink shade, can be a little bit neon for a lot of people and not so much of a wearable shade. So if you are familiar with Relentlessly Red from MAC, which I have swatched as well, it's a very similar toned shade. So it depends on your personal preference, but I do really like this shade. So the next shade I'm going to be swatching is the MAC Retro Matte Liquid Lipstick. This one is in the shade Tailored to Tease. Now this shade again is discontinued by MAC, but you can always check out my dupes video to find out a similar dupe to this shade. But I love how this one looks. This is like a pink shade with a lot of purple undertones to it. Looks really nice on a lot of different skin tones, and it's a more wearable shade. It's not too bright, but it's not too subtle either, and you can pull this one off without makeup as well. So the shade I'm going to be swatching is from Biotic. This one is in the shade Ladies Night. Now this is what the shade Ladies Night looks like. It's a very bright pink shade. Like, it can be a little bit bold for a lot of people. This does not lack pigmentation at all. The formula is really smooth, and it's a very, very affordable lipstick shade. This would suit anybody who likes sort of like a bolder shade. And I would recommend people up to like medium skin tone to try this one out. If you are of a deeper skin tone than I am, it might look a little bit more neon on your skin. The next shade I'm going to be swatching is also from Biotic. This one is in the shade Kiss Me. This one has more orange, sort of peachy undertones to it, but again a very beautiful shade, a kind of different shade if you like these kind of shades, but it's not again everybody's cup of tea. Next one I'm going to be swatching is from Wet n Wild. This is their Mega Last lipstick. This one is in the shade Smokin' Hot Pink. Now this is again like a pink shade with a little bit of like purple undertones to it, something that not a lot of people who don't really like pink lipsticks might wear, but if you are someone who's up for like that little bit of pop of pink, you'd really like this shade. The next one I'm going to be swatching is the Miss Claire Soft Matte Lip Cream in the number 35. Now this one is slightly less pigmented compared to the other shades from Miss Claire, but it's very comfortable, and it's sort of like a slight deeper pink shade. So from Miss Claire, this one is in the number 07. This one is again like a fuchsia pink shade with a little bit of purple undertones to it. So the next one I'm going to be swatching is the Purple Mini Liquid Lipstick. This one is in the shade My First Dress Up. So this is sort of like a very bright pink shade, but it's very pigmented, not one bit patchy, and again I think it would suit a lot of different skin tones depending on what your preference for pink lipsticks are. And then the next one from Purple, this one is their Mini Liquid Lipstick in the shade My First Camping. Now this one is not sort of like your typical pink shade. It is sort of like a deeper pink with a little bit of with a lot of berry undertones to it. So if you don't really like those, bright pink shades, you can try this one out. It's a more wearable shade, would suit a lot of different skin tones. And one thing you have to keep in mind with the Purple liquid lipsticks is that they go bad really fast. Mine, I got this in the year 2020, and it already smells really bad, like it's gone bad. Next shade from Purple I'm going to be swatching is their Mini Liquid Lipstick in the shade My First Karaoke Night. This is more like a warm, mellowed down pink shade with more like an earthy undertone to it. This would suit all skin tones. So as you guys know by now, I am categorizing it brand wise, and if I have a certain brand of lipsticks, I'm swatching all of those together so that you guys can look up the brand a lot more easier. So next up I'll be swatching some Sugar lip crayons. The first one I'm going to be swatching is the Matte as Hell lip crayon in the shade Honey Rider. So this one on the Sugar website is described as a deep peachy pink, which I would agree. And then the next one I'm going to be swatching is number 12 Baby Houseman. This one is described as a deep pink shade. It has a lot of berry purple undertones to it as well. And again, if you don't really like your typical pinks, like I have mentioned, I was not a pink lipstick person. So if you wanted something a little bit more deeper, you can try something like this. Next one I'm going to be swatching is the Matte as Hell lip crayon in the number 31 Poppy Adams. Now this one is described as a raspberry pink shade, and I would completely agree with that. It's such a beautiful wearable pink shade. Again, not very bright, not very subtle, would again suit a lot of different complexions, and very pigmented. Next one is the Sugar Matte as Hell lip crayon in the shade Lillian Rose. This one is a bright fuchsia pink, and the natural pigmentation of your lips will peek through with this shade. Next one I'm going to be swatching is the Sugar Matte as Hell lip crayon in the shade Miss Rosa. It is described as a dusky rose color, and I would call this exactly that. It is a dusty rose shade, which again would be like a nude shade for deeper skin tones if you like these kind of nudes, something that's not very pale. And then moving on to Sugar, it's About Time Vivid lipstick in the shade Better Call Salmon. Now a very subtle peach pink shade again would be a nude for a lot of people, but when I say this is a nude, a lot of people are like, no, that's a peach pink shade. So you can categorize it however you like it, but on the Sugar website this is described as a peach pink shade. Now the next one I'm going to be swatching from Sugar is Wine and Shine. Can't describe this as a wine shade as such, but pink with a lot of purple undertones to it. A very beautiful shade. A lot of people really like this, but the formula is sort of drying. Just look at this shade, you guys. It's so beautiful. I just love this shade, and that's the reason I'm actually okay with the formula. I like to see past it. It's actually quite drying compared to another sugar liquid lipstick that I own, but what a beautiful shade. And then another sugar liquid lipstick. This one is their metal matte liquid lipstick. This one is in the shade Talitha. This is such a bright pink shade which has a sort of like neon undertones to it, as well as a little bit of like bluer undertones to it. Very pretty, but can get a little bit patchy as well. Just keep that in mind. The formula is a lot more comfortable compared to this Much Me Not liquid lipstick. When I was talking about sugar lipsticks, I did forget to mention this one. This one is the Sugar Never Say Dry Creme lipstick. This one is in the shade Revolutionary Rose. Again, a very warm peachy pink kind of a shade. And then moving on to Wet n Wild liquid catsuit lipstick in the shade Nice to Fuchsia. Such a beautiful fuchsia pink shade, and the formula of this is a lot better compared to the other ones. Like it hasn't dried down in the tube just yet, but I like the formula of the Wet n Wild liquid lipsticks in general. They're so comfortable on the lips. Moving on to Wet n Wild Berry Recognize. It's sort of like a pink berry shade. Even though it's called Berry Recognize, the majority of it is like a pink shade, has slight berry undertones to it, so that's the reason I included it in this. This one has dried down in the tube and it's not as pigmented as it was when I first got it. Next up, I have the Color Bar lipstick in the shade Bombshell. Now I don't think you can find this one, but I'm just swatching it to show it to you guys. Like it is in my collection, so this is like a swatch book for me. Deeper pink shade with sort of berry undertones to it. This is not as pigmented. I had to build this one up quite a lot. Next up, I have Faces Primer Plus Matte Lip Crayon in the shade Dash of Pink. One of my favorite shades for sure. Again, sort of like that deep raspberry pink would suit a lot of different skin tones. So next shade I'm going to be swatching is the Bobbi Brown lipstick in the number Pink 6. Next one I'm going to be swatching is the Maybelline Color Show lipstick in the shade Fuchsia Fantasy. So next up, a couple of L'Oreal lipsticks. The first one is, of course, the Color Riche Moist Matte lipstick in the shade Glamour Fuchsia. This lipstick has like so much memories associated with it. I got this in my like initial YouTube days. Doesn't smell bad or anything, so I'm guessing it's not gone rancid yet. And also on a side note, I don't know if anybody likes to do this, but I like to play with lipsticks when I'm bored. So I just open, close, then twist it up, twist it down, twist it up, twist it down, just to see how much I've used. And I'm so proud of the usage. And I do that with most of my lipsticks randomly. Next one is the L'Oreal liquid lipstick in the shade I Decide. So this is like a very peachy pink shade, and the formula of this is quite runny. So once it settles down, it's not as pigmented, but it's very, very long lasting and very comfortable on the lips. And then the next shade I have is 114 I Represent. Again, sort of like a bright pop of pink, like a raspberry pink shade. Looks really nice. And this would again serve the purpose of being a tint as well. Like if you don't really want to go heavy handed with your lipstick, these are really nice to wear. Just look at how beautifully those L'Oreal liquid lipsticks stain your lips. Like, so nice. We have some MAC Bullet lipsticks. First one I'm going to be swatching the mini lipstick in the shade Captive. Now this has more purple undertones to it, but it also has equal amount of pink undertones to it. Next one I'm going to be swatching is the MAC lipstick in the shade All Fired Up. This looks very neon on camera when I'm looking at it, but it is actually sort of like a more subtle shade compared to Relentlessly Red, and a very wearable shade as well. Next one I'm going to be swatching is MAC Flat Out Fabulous. Again, like a fuchsia pink shade, has a lot of purple undertones to it, but equal amounts of pink undertones to it as well. Not a very bold shade, so a lot of people would still really like this. You guys, my lips are stained no matter if I'm trying to mask it with foundation or whatever. Masking it with foundation is just making my lips a little bit too dry. Next one I'm going to be swatching is MAC Girl About Town. One of my first MAC lipsticks. This is like an amplified finish, so it's not as matte, but it's pretty pigmented as well, and it's very comfortable on the lips, not like their matte finishes. Like if you don't really like that, you really like this. Next one is MAC Relentlessly Red. This has sort of neon undertones to it, and if your lips are very dry, they do emphasize that a lot more, so keep that in mind, and it is a little bit more drying than even Ruby Woo. Next shade I'm going to be swatching is Color Bar Sultry. You guys know this is like my all-time favorite pink shade, sort of like a unique shade, would suit every single person, irrespective of if you like pink shades or not. Next up, we have the Essence Adorable Matte Lipstick in the number 14. If you can find Essence lipsticks easily, this is a range of lipstick that you can try out. They are very pigmented, very comfortable on the lips. They are not matte, but they are very, very long lasting as well. Next one I'm going to be swatching is the Lisa Eldridge lipstick in the shade Skyscraper Rose, one of my favorite all-time pink shades. Such a beautiful shade. The texture is so luxe and it just looks so nice on the lips. Next one I'm going to be swatching is the Kiko Milano lipstick in the shade 07. This is their Lost in Amalfi collection or something like that. You can't find these lipsticks online, but you can find this in any Kiko Milano store on buy 2 get 2 offer. And these lipsticks, you guys, are like bulletproof. They are so long lasting. They are not one bit drying on the lips, and they have some really nice shades for you guys to check out. So this is a very beautiful, like a deeper pink shade, which I really enjoy, and it's super pigmented again and not very drying in my opinion. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Now I know there are a lot of different shade options, like different kinds of pinks, and that's what this video is about. Imagine I swatched like 50 shades of the same kind of pink shades. It wouldn't make any sense, right? So that's why I wanted to like incorporate different kinds of pinks that I have in my collection. So this would be like a swatch book, a reference book for you guys. And of course, you can check out the links in the description box below if you want to shop any of this. And also don't forget to sign up to GoPaisa to save some cash back. So yeah, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.